Today on Outside the Box Reviews, we are not looking at a toy for once. We are taking a look at the Diamond Select, or better off, Universal Select, Universal Horror Series, and this is the Creature from the Black Lagoon Bust Bank. I'm a big fan of the Gillman, just totally into this character, love the movies, well, love the first two movies, the third one was kind of still kind of hoping he'll get remade into a more modern film. He's kind of one of the lesser featured villains for many of the Universal creatures. And I'm so obsessed with this character that I actually have started shooting a documentary on the filming locations of the second movie because it takes place fairly close to where I live. I had seen pictures of this bust bank back from Comic-Con, and I thought it looked pretty cool. And when I finally saw it on the shelves in my local comic book store, knew I had to pick it up because he was just too cool looking. Now, being a statue, bust bank, anything like that, there's not a whole lot to talk about him except for the sculpt and paint. It's really all we have here. But the sculpt is pretty good. I think the angle on the head is a little off. It's not quite how it should be, but there's some good sculpting detail all through the face. The paintwork on him is overall very solid. There's very few areas where I've found errors with it. There's some nice blending between the greens and the yellows and the oranges, giving it a very natural look. And the dark added to it enhances all those qualities how it should. It's not overdone, it's not underdone, it's pretty much right to me. A lot of sculpted detail on his gills here. Of course, a very important part of the character, being that he's the gill man. We have his spine coming down here. His whole torso is patterned, really nice scaled detail put in here, the different levels, which probably served more to be articulation for the costume back in the movie than anything else. Good work on the front. Down here on the chest, we have kind of the ab region here. More sculpting detail, different from the rest. Overall, it's really good. We have his tongue inside his mouth, which is nicely sculpted. Really cool. My favorite part are his arms. He's got the big open claws. He's going to clutch. He's going to get you. He's got his individual little fingers. And these are mildly flexible, which is kind of good if you ever fell. The whole thing's kind of mildly flexible. It's all just vinyl material. But a lot of great sculpting in here as well. The sculpting overall is pretty good. More fins coming down here. Top of the hand has some more detail as well. Just really nicely done. The paint is solid overall, as I said before. One thing that irks me with the design is because he has a bank, it's this body that holds the coins. The coins can't be allowed to fall into the arms because they'd be impossible to get out, most likely. So there is a pretty noticeable seam here. Now, I had originally speculated that maybe this would be an articulation point. Maybe you could actually move the arms and swivel them. That's not the case. It would have been kind of cool, but it would have also disrupted the sculpt, and it may not have looked as nice as it does, because you can see here the shoulder comes up, and the arm kind of goes into it. You would have almost had to have made this a softer material, probably would have driven up the price quite a bit. The other arm is a little more bent, a little different angle, but still the kind of same idea of the open claw. Same kind of detailing and features on it. He looks good from the side, too, with this pose. It's really cool looking. Now, my favorite details on this guy are down here with the water at the base. It's a beautiful blue. Now, I would have thought Creature from the Black Lagoon. Maybe we could have gone a little darker with this water. But it's a beautiful looking blue. Some white highlights of the kind of spray of it. Really nice looking. Doesn't look cheesy. I was worried it would look cheesy being the static water. But I think it looks just right. And the best part to me is that I may be crazy, but it has a slight translucency to it, I think. There's this slight bit of translucent quality to it, which is just phenomenal and really sells the point of it being water. Really one of my favorite pieces about this bust. As for its functionality as a bank, you could already hear. Got some coins in them. It has the slot up here at the top, which is very large. Unfortunately, all my coins are in him right now, so I can't even show you to scale. So, how about we just turn them over, where we have the little release here, just a black plug, pretty standard for a bank, I would think. And it's a little tight, but you could turn it around. There we go. So it comes off, and to confirm my suspicions here, you can see on the inside that this is a translucent water base that connects separately to the green creature. A really nice touch there. It is dark on the inside of the creature itself. So let's pull out some coins here. I got plenty in here. Kind of money you can make doing YouTube reviews. Some hard-earned cash here. And just for size reference, here we have a quarter. So with the quarter, you still have plenty of extra room in there. It's much larger than that. A penny. A dime. But that'll give you a vague reference to the size of the coin hole on here. Now this bust bank cost me around $20. So in the scheme of things, that's becoming around the price of a Predator figure from NECA. It's 2 Marvel Universe figures. So not really too bad in the scheme of things. He stands about 9.5 inches tall, so he looks pretty good if you have him with the other Universal Select figures that have come out over the years. You can pick him up at a local comic shop is where I found mine. I know Big Bad Toy Store had some. Shouldn't be too hard to come by. And I highly, highly recommend picking this guy up. He's really cool and really inexpensive. And if you're a fan of the creature from the Black Lagoon, it's gonna be a nice piece to sit on your shelf. I'm thrilled every time I look at him. I can't say that about a lot of the collectibles I have. A lot of things I have on my shelves, they're cool, they're part of the collection. They are a literal just piece of the puzzle. This guy, he draws my attention every time I see him. My eye is drawn to him. And one of the things that I like about him most is that for a very low price, you get something that gives the feel of a higher end collectible. Now, I've never gone out and sprung for a Sideshow mini bust or a Bowen or a Gentle Giant bust or anything like that. And I know those are normally higher quality. Even the ones that are plastic are supposedly really high quality, really well done, and the paint apps are probably more realistic and all that kind of stuff. But given the price I paid for this guy, and that was full retail price, no discount, no nothing, he still has that look of something that is much more grandiose, I guess, being in your collection. It looks like a higher end piece than it really is. And what more can you say for that? And plus, beyond the fact of it just being a bust to take up space, you can put coins in him. He has a purpose. He does something. There's a bit of a utilitarian factor to it, which is even cooler because, well, heck, it lets me justify why I bought him to my girlfriend just a little bit more than my average action figure purchase. Now, at the same time, same day, Universal Select, Diamond Select, whatever you want to call them, also released a Frankenstein's Monster mini bust. I was torn between the two at the time of purchase. They're both characters that I love, and I went with Creature for 2 reasons. One, because I'm doing a documentary and everything, so I felt like right now in my life I have a stronger connection with the Creature, and it would just be kind of a better choice to have on display and spend the money on. And also, the paint apps on the Frankenstein's Monster weren't as great. The green they picked for him didn't really hit my sweet spot for what the Frankenstein monster should look like to me. And the positioning of the arms was also not great. And once I realized they weren't articulated, it made them even less appealing to me. Not saying that I won't go back and pick him up. I'm still toying with the idea and putting him on the other side of my Universal Horror shelf. But only time will tell on that one. But yeah, if you need a scary monster that looks pretty darn cool to hold your coins, definitely go pick up this bust bank. Make sure you check out Outside the Box reviews on Facebook. You want real early detection of what I'm going to be reviewing. I think I posted pictures of this guy several weeks ago before I got around to reviewing him, so you would have had that little hint that he was coming. And until next time, this has been another Outside the Box review. Stay tuned for more to come.